This is Ashley Stevens with UNCF. I'm delighted to be with Dr. Colette Burnette, the president of Huston-Tillotson University in Texas. How are you?
I'm doing well, Ashley. Thank you.
Great. Well, we're delighted to have you. This means that Huston-Tillotson University is one of the 30 recipients of the UNCF CPI Planning Grant. Congratulations.
We're very proud to be in that position. Very proud.
Wonderful. What does UNCF's Career Pathways Initiative, what will that mean for students and for faculty?
I'm going to answer it in two ways. I'm ending my first year of my presidency, and I'm very excited to be at Huston-Tillotson University. And this experience has affirmed many things that I knew, that we really need to become very transformational. And the language that has been used in all the conferences and sessions has been about how we stretch ourselves outside of the norm, stretch ourselves outside of the boundaries, and what that means to our students is a natural thing, that we'll have more completers, we'll have more students that find their passion and what they desire to be, to find their true pathway to a career as opposed to a job, because we tend to focus towards jobs. And then as far as our faculty goes, there's a lot of great energy on campus right now about student success. We consider ourselves a student-centered administration, so having student successes that are very guided and very intentional means that your work becomes more meaningful, and that's important for us on the campus.
Got it. You mentioned, you're ending your first year as president of Huston-Tillotson, and you're only the second female president of the merged Huston-Tillotson University, and the first in the institution's, is it 140 year?
140 years.
History.
We are actually the oldest institution of higher learning in Austin, Texas. We're older than the University of Texas at Austin.
Wow.
So that shows the grit, the resiliencies, and the importance of the university in the Austin area.
Right.
In Texas.
And I ask because I want to know, are there any unique challenges that women, particularly women at HBCUs, face in landing meaningful employment after college?
Women, in my position, what I've learned is that you bring a certain flair to the position. You bring a certain passion, and women, that is a skill that people don't appreciate. And that language actually came out here in this conversation about the why of what we do. We often gloss over the why of what we do, the heart of why we're doing what we're doing. And higher education is an institution of heart and mind, and women make decisions with heart and mind. So that's a challenge, because just now we're wrapping that into a necessary skill for organizations to be successful.
Got it. I guess when we think about, creating careers, I know you mentioned it's more than just having a job. Can you speak to, what should students be looking for? Should it be vocation? Should it be their purpose and their passion that all meld together into this opportunity post-graduation?
I think one of the things that higher ed is, I don't want to use the word guilty of, but guilty of, is we look at an education as monolithic. You're going to be a biology major. You're going to be a math major, and that means one thing, but it really doesn't, because I might be a biology major that's interested in going out and being a researcher. I might be a biology major that's going out and interested in becoming a doctor. Or I might be a math major that wants to be an actuarian, or I might be a math major that wants to teach. So we look at it as monolithic, and therefore we wrap our curriculums around that way. So we stifle creativity for the biologist that wants to be a researcher to be in a certain box, as opposed to a biologist that maybe just wants to become a pharmacist or become some other kind of profession, like a plan B. We often just stick only on the plan A, as opposed to giving the student options to say plan A, plan B, plan C, and then these pathways will guide me to where my ultimate destiny is, according to the purpose of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Got it. And how do you see UNCF's Career Pathways Initiative helping faculty to create those pathways for students?
The four pillars, the primary one being the curriculum, that's key, because that's where the removing the monolithic part comes in, is that you have a curriculum that's very flexible. You have opportunities for students to, and you talk about the why. Like why am I learning about this? Why is this important? How does this move me to where I'm going? Because students none of us ever see where we're going. We only see where we are. So this initiative will fund innovations to really stretch ourselves into being very creative about wrapping that curriculum around students seeing where they're going. Like, everything is intentional from the first time a student steps on campus, that you're assuring their parent when they drop them off that we're going to help them get a job or help them find a career, because we have to change our language. and then we guide them to that pathway, because that's what education is finding who you are. And that's why a lot of the learning happens outside of the classroom in addition to inside the classroom. What happens inside the classroom is the meat of it, but then those co-curricular things that we do, internships, etc., outside of the classroom are also learning experiences, and this initiative wraps all of that together, so we're very pleased to be a part of it.
Got it. I like that. And I guess lastly, where do you see Huston-Tillotson when you're celebrating your 150th anniversary 10 years from now? Where do you see Huston-Tillotson in the scheme of having successful outcomes post-graduation for students?
Austin in itself has a history of segregation in the 40s that it's now attempting very intentionally to address. And the university plays a very important role in that. So 10 years from now, my magic wand through supportive initiatives such as this are that we will see more of our Huston-Tillotson graduates in positions that they are not traditionally in, and in non-traditional careers and non-traditional spaces. We're focusing on the rodeo, we're focusing on group fiber, folks from technology through entertaining realms, all the way through kinesiology is one of our largest majors. So pushing students into spaces that you don't traditionally find people of color. Not because they aren't qualified clearly, but because they're not exposed to that. So it's a double-edged sword. So this kind of initiative, through collaborations and partnerships, helps to peel away from both angles what the student is prepared or aware of, as well as what the employer is prepared and aware of. So it marries those two together, and it's a prize. So.
And one other point that I thought about, can you tell us demographics-wise, what is your percentage of Hispanic students? And then are there any unique challenges that Hispanic students face with postgraduate outcomes?
It's funny, being new to Texas, I'm new to Texas, and I'm not new to Huston-Tillotson anymore. It's home to me. I've fallen in love with Huston-Tillotson. We hover around 70% African American and 20% Hispanic Latino students. And when I get this question, I've researched this and studied and clearly talked to a lot of students. And our mission to serve populations that were traditionally underserved has never known a race. And so the face of that student is brown and black and all kinds of hues in this nation. And it's wonderful to see the diversity and what happens. We always talk about diversity and inclusion, and even on the Black College campus, we have diversity and inclusion, and it really enhances the atmosphere and the learning experience for our students, our international students, our white students, our African American students, our Hispanic, Latino students. It's amazing to see that interaction, and we're more alike than we are different, but we have that undergirding of being marginally or traditionally underserved. And I don't like the term underserved. It's underknown. So.
Well, we hope that more students will be known and placed and have successful career paths through this initiative and through the existing programs at Huston-Tillotson. So thank you so much for sharing with us.
It's been my pleasure, my honor.
Absolutely. Dr. Colette Pierce Burnette, President of Huston-Tillotson University in Austin, Texas.